It's time.
Let's get this fucking show on the road. It's King of the Couch back in your earholes for another week of the King of the Couch podcast, the world's greatest podcast, probably. I'm back, baby. Episode 144. Darn glad to be here. This is fucking rare for me nowadays. I'm going back to back, week to week. I normally feel like I get one done and then some fucking bullshit comes up or I get a sickness or something cocks up or whatever. But I'm stoked to be back here. Nearly choked on my own fucking words there, but I am stoked to be back here. As I said, it's episode 144, rocketing along. It's the 1st of August. New day, new week, new month. Let's fucking get it. 9:32 p.m. here on a beautiful Queensland night. 15 degrees. I've fashioned it up tonight. Got the white, got the little black hoodie and the little black puffer vest. Feeling fucking good. A little haircut action. Looking good, Tomo. Looking fucking good. The self-worth is high. And I'm sitting here, joined by none other than Mexican's finest, Corona. And not that shitty stuff that's going around causing pandemonium, pandemic. The beer, the delicious Mexican 4X, Corona. Cheers to me. Cheers to you all. Fucking love you. Hope you've been well, though. I've had a good week. I will say, straight off the bat, though, last week, I felt like it was a bit of a somber episode for me, and I apologise if it kind of depressed people. I spoke to two people. One of them was Stu, Disco Stu. Shout out Disco Stu. We were going to mention in tonight's show. He featured in my weekend segment. When I was talking to him yesterday, and he was like, I said, oh man, because he's up to date with the pod, he loves it. And I'm like, did you think it was a bit depressing? He's like, no, I didn't think it was that bad. He's like, I thought, if anything, the show before it was a little bit like somber. And I was like, Jesus Christ. I was talking to my cousin, Alan McElravy. Shout out Alan McElravy. I was talking to him last week, and he sent me a message going, man, funny as fuck show. But are you okay? Like, are you all right? And he's like, I want to have a chat. I'm worried about you. And when I get those sort of messages, I'm like, oh, it's good that I love people that, like, it's nice that people care about you. You know what I mean? Get positive people like that around you. But I was like, shit, I must say some dark stuff, because when the cameras roll and the mics roll, sometimes I just get sort of caught up in the moment with what I'm going on. I don't really have, like, too much intention to sort of steer the ship, if you will. I just have some notes and I talk about what I feel is most important at that point in time. And it can be bullshit or it can be serious shit. I just feel the last few episodes have been sort of somewhat serious sort of shit. So, just disclaimer, tonight's show, we're going to have a fun one. I will say that the King of the Couch is an extension of me, right? I am the King of the Couch. So, everything in my life that I talk about generally features on the show. It just happens that it's been a bit heavier lately. But I will say, shout out to my cousin again, because I'll start the show with this, a good news story between me and him. But yeah, we had a chat. So we probably talk, I don't know, every 3-4 weeks, maybe once, twice a month on the phone. He lives in Northern Ireland, one of Northern Ireland's most handsome, most charismatic men. And it's always a good chat, right? We FaceTime, love it. It's a shame, we often say it's a shame that we don't live closer, because when we get along, when we see each other, like we've probably come across each other, maybe 5-6 times across life, maybe a bit more than that, but in our adulthood, maybe 4 or 5 times. Fuck, we have a riot. Like, it's just such a good time, you know what I mean? And we're very similar in so many ways. Of course, there's so many, like, not so subtle differences as well. But, for example, I've got luscious hair. He's got no hair. He's got a big beard. I've got no beard. Things like that, you know what I mean? He's partial to heavy metal, so am I, so we connect over that. And just a lot of stuff. I feel like we're dreamers in that way, and we just get along real well. But I don't know what it was with this conversation the other night. It could have been the fact that I was stomaching quite a little bit of Shiraz Cabernet. But I just really enjoyed talking to him, and he just was like, look, man, I think you really overthink things. And I was telling him about everything, my life coach, all this sort of stuff. And we sort of get deep down and dirty into it. We sort of, bare our souls, not in a depressive way. We just talk openly. And like, he just said something, and it was so fucking cliche, but he's like, man, you just got to start like living in the moment. And I know that like sounds so cliche, but it just sort of hit me, and he was like giving me some examples and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, why am I worrying about X, Y, and Z? And then sort of digress a bit. I had a mentor session this morning, and he talked about living too much in the past and living too much in the future, and not about being present and stuff like that. Imagine scenarios was the fucking topic. And that's stuck in my mind anyway. You guys might do it there, but imagine scenarios. I'll let you run with that. But things that you literally imagine in your head that are not real, right? And they might be set in the past, might be set in the future. Whatever it is, you're not living in the moment. You're not present, right? And so with what Alan was saying, it just sort of resonated with me, and I needed to hear it at that time. So shout out to you, Alan. I really appreciated that. And I know you love the show. I know you listen to the show. You've always been a mad supporter of the King of the Couch, and I really appreciate you immensely, mate. So shout out for you, and a cheers to you. Cheers to Alan. Cheers to the whole of Northern Ireland, right? There's some good people over there. And I will give a special shout out to one of his friends. I met this girl years ago. Her name's Jamie, and a great girl. And she just had this thing go on with her brain, NFD they call it. I don't want to give too much away, but she's just been having a real hard time lately. I think she listened to the show. I ended up having a bit of a chat to her on Friday night too with Alan. He was with her Thursday night. And look, I haven't seen her in a long time. I remember just like years ago we hung out. This was going back like probably 10 years. But you know when you meet those people and they're good people, and no matter how much you meet them, you can just sort of pick up where you left off. We're not great friends or anything by any means. Acquaintances are best. But it was just good to chat with her. And I know she's been like doing it really tough. Her family have been doing it tough because she's got this thing going on. But so just want to give her a special shout out from the King of the Couch himself, because I know she's listening to the show. I hope it brings her cheer sometimes, but possibly makes you think about it. And I don't want to be any more somber than I have to be, because I know some people out there, they're having a little bit of a hard time, and yeah, it's all perspective, right? So I hope you get well soon and you're just having the best life, the best time. I don't know. I'm not really good at these shout outs, these heartfelt shout outs, but I'm doing them anyway because it's my show and I do whatever I want. But yeah, it was great to see you. Thinking about you. You know what I mean? I have a drink for you. So let's get on with it, Tomo. Come on, get on with it, mate. But anyway, a lot of people like that have been coming into my life, really good, and just putting things in perspective. I'm trying to not overthink and just be in the moment. But we're here tonight, episode 144. I've got nothing on my throat. I've got a little bit of a thing. I can feel it deep back there. I'm just going to do a little, got to do it. It's disgusting, but I don't like editing the show. I don't like pausing it. Anyway, my weekend. Talking about my fucking weekend. We've got a bit to talk about tonight. My weekend, obviously some cool stuff happened on my weekend. Update on my back. Got some news about that. I got a question. I talked about the shout out for Alan. You know, he worried about me, but it was good. Live in the moment, people. From Alan himself, my cousin, Northern Ireland's most handsome, charismatic man. Live in the moment, right? Fuck. Life is good, right? Say it with me 10 times. Life is good. I'm not going to say it another 9 times, but life is good. It's in the fucking head. So let's go. Some crazy shit, some shit. So we've got a movie of the week, we've got a song of the week, maybe 2 songs of the week, and we've got some punchable offences. One's probably really annoying, other one's probably not so much. I'm probably being a hypochondriac, but we'll talk about that soon. But my weekend. All right, Friday night, boom, boom, let's go. My dear old mother came to town Friday night. I haven't seen my mum in a while. Life is moving really, really fast. The older I get, the more like sort of connected I get with my family. I often talk about friends and family on here. I just gave a shout out to my cousin, of course. I've dropped Disco Stew's name already. I've got great friends, great family. I'm super, super lucky. My mum came up on the weekend, and look, I've got to be honest with myself. I guess I am a little bit of a mummy's boy, and it's always good to see my mum. She was always, I thought, somewhat of a stoic figure growing up, but as we've got older together, we can talk more. And there was a couple of conversations that we had last week that I sort of let her know about the life coach and things like that, and she was like, oh, okay. And she's sort of one of those, like, she sort of keeps her cards close. She doesn't give too much away, my mother. But it's really cool because I've seen her open up in ways to Arabella and Oscar that I probably didn't really see for my brother and I, and this isn't a sob story or anything like that. So it's kind of cool to sort of see that, though. You know, you get that whole, again, perspective of how you were raised with your mum, and then how I see her changing with my kids, her grandkids. And it's just really cool. So I was really super stoked for mum to come to town on the Friday night. Classic Friday night, homemade pizzas. We made a garlic prawn pizza, we made a ham and pineapple pizza, a little bit of mushroom on there, and we made like kind of like a supreme thing, some nice pepperoni type bits. I know people like, it's so terrible for you, that stuff, that cured meat, but I fucking love it. It's so fucking good. I don't give a shit what's in it. It's so fucking tasty. I said to Beck, can you get some of that good chunky triple smoked ham for the ham and pineapple? So we had it. Garlic prawns, made a garlic pizza as well. We made 4 pizzas, including the garlic pizzas, which is like a thin pizza. It was good. There was some leftovers, of course, and that's what I love about pizza. I like to overmake so there's leftovers because I love leftovers, right? If I had a restaurant, one of my ideas is possibly calling it leftovers, right? All the food's made a day before you get there. I think it tastes better. Look, I'm sure I'd be niching it, and I'm sure that I would miss out on a shitload of clientele, but it's my restaurant. Leftovers. Come and check it out. Your food definitely was cooked yesterday, is our tagline. So, yeah, my mum's there. I, of course, had some beers, and I, of course, had some wine too. My mum put on this show, Nine Perfect Strangers. Wasn't totally into it, bit of a psychological one. It was one I wanted to watch. Beck had watched it, beat me to it. I just couldn't get into it. I was way more interested in the footy and just my own life sort of thing. I think I put on a movie on Friday night. What it was, I do not know because I fell asleep after a good chunk of red wine. I'll be honest. I felt good. I felt wholesome. I felt good. I wasn't drunk. I just felt cozy, like I was getting a warm hug from a family member or a friend that I love. So that was Friday night. Saturday, I had to head to Vegas for Saturday. Didn't really want to go down too much. Like when the weekend comes around, like it's always so chaotic. I don't know about all the other parents out there, but I feel like just having one kid, you lose a lot of time. Having two kids, you lose extra time. So I feel like we don't have a lot of spare time, Beck and I, anymore. I'd say we're probably a little bit aggressive to each other at the moment. We'll talk relationships another time, but I just feel like she's quite stressed. I know she's got a weekend away. I've got a weekend away this weekend coming up. So it's going to be good to just sort of separate a bit, get some time apart. I really hope she debriefs with her friends and stuff like that and just sort of takes a load off. I know she's going to be getting an absolute skinful. She's going to just be an absolute beast on the piss this weekend, and I will probably do the same. Why? Because we've got a Bucks party and a Hens party. But I'm not going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to talk about that next week. Monday night next week, a full Bucks party breakdown. I don't even know how much I can, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas kind of mentality, but you know me, my big fucking mouth, I'll be talking about it. So Saturday, had to go to Brisbane, and I didn't want to, but I had good reasons to go because I've got a wedding in about 5 weeks. Shout out Geordie Grives, the best man at his wedding. Had to get the final suit fitting. Saw the suit, schmick, classic black, can't even speak, classic black tuxedo. Very nice, very cool. Again, won't give too much away because the wedding's in 5 weeks, so we'll post some photos because I'm going to be looking fly as fuck. And I was very stoked to get it. But I tell you what, it's the bells and whistles. It's the Rolls Royce of suits, and he hasn't cheaped it by any means. And I'm looking really good. Funny story around the shoes too, and we'll tell you that after the wedding. Because again, I don't want to give anything away. It's a sacred day for those people. I'm going to let them enjoy their moment. And then I'm going to break it down because that's how I do. That's how I do on the show. So anyway, what I was getting at is I had to get down to Brisbane. I fucked up because I thought that Arabella had a little third birthday to attend. So I had it all set out. Don't know what I was thinking. My time management was way off. Hey, do you do it? You ever do that? Like you set yourself a goal. Like this is it. We're going to be here. I'm in Brisbane by midday, right? The plan that I had didn't even eventuate. And I got to Brisbane at 12. And I had nothing on that morning. I just ended up, you just what you do. You know what I mean? I fucking filled it up with other shit. So, go to Brizzy. And it was a good day because I had the suit fitting. My good man, Michael Rush, seriously, aka Dr. Love, had to catch up with him. Now, Rushy, I will give... I'm full of shout-outs tonight. Shout out to Rushy, hey. I will give shout-out to Rushy because... Okay, look, he's a bloke you can trust. He's one of the best guys going. And he has been ever since I've known him. It's just a wholesome, salt-of-the-earth individual. He's a bit of an anxious brethren of mine, so we connect over that. But there's a lot we have in common. Again, a lot we don't have in common. But we have a lot of mutual love and respect for each other. And he's the type of friend that will call you 1, 2, 3 times a week to check in on you, right? He's that sort of guy. I'll do the same to him, but nowhere near as much. I sort of get wrapped up in my own world with the kids and stuff like that. He's a single man, a bachelor now. He's out there slaying, and I'm fucking stoked for him and his penis. But I love the guy. I'm going to say it. I will say I'm not wearing it tonight. I told him I would wear it. I'm not wearing it tonight. But I'm going to just have a quick little spin around here in the studio, the KOTC HQ. Crawling Death, a brand. He gave me this hat. If you're watching on YouTube, it has two hands going like, I guess, high-fiving together with like the kind of like the Predator thing. And it says Satan. If you haven't seen a brand called Crawling Death, I would go and check it out. It's a fantastic brand. They make cool stuff. But I've never ever bought Crawling Death stuff. This guy basically is sponsored by Crawling Death, but not sponsored. He actually pays for all the clothes. But they should hit him up for a sponsorship because he's like a walking billboard for Crawling Death. He gave me the Satan hat because he had a spare one. And he gave me a Crawling Death t-shirt. He paid for my lunch. What a G. I went to take a piss, come back. He's like, sorted. You know what I mean? So he bought my my chicken burger and my beer. But yeah, Saturday. Go down. Had a good day. I will say, I forgot to bring it up tonight, and I'm going to talk about it after, but I went out. I had to go to the Real Grocer to get this thing, Ultimate Pain Balm. I'm going to talk about it when I talk about my back. So I did have some shit to do in the morning. Kissed and hugged my family. It can be really hard, with a family because you can set your day out right. And I feel bad because I miss my kids. And they miss me too, especially Arabella. And she's like a full-on dad's girl at the moment. And I love it, right? Because I love her to death. And as soon as she got wind that I was going, she was just like, I want to come with you. And I'm like, look, you can't come with me because I'm thinking all the logistics, like in and out of the car, the suit fitting, the rushy. It's just like, when you can go on your own, you know exactly what you're doing. When you got kids, like add time on, add carrying, oh God, entertainment packages. You got to make sure they're fed, all this sort of stuff. Have you had enough water? Sometimes on a Saturday, I forget to even have a glass of water. And now I'm responsible for making sure my 3-year-old has to have a glass of water. God, man, responsibility's up the fucking wazoo. Anyway, so it took me like 15 minutes to get out of the house because she was just like, didn't want me to leave. But eventually got in, went and got my Ultimate Pain Balm, which I will give a review of very soon, and trekked it all over to Brisbane. Made a couple of calls. Brisbane was like an hour and 20 from my house, and it's good because I had some fucking super into Australian music, Australian rock music at the moment. Oh, fuck, man, there's another song of the week I'm going to tell you about. But yeah, got in the car, and I used the time on my own in the car, just typing this note down so I don't forget it later, to call people. Call my friend who I had a couple of missed calls from in the week, Scotty Major. Shout out Scotty Major, drink for you, son. And my dad, because me and my dad talk a bit, and we talk about music and stuff like that. So, for example, the Black Crowes are coming to town, doing a 30th anniversary tour of Shake Your Money Maker. I was like, Dad, we got to go. I'll sort it out. So it's a long time. So by the time I'm in the car, I've already fucking spent like 45 minutes on the phone. Then I get some tunes in, and it's all good, right? Get to Paddington, Red Hill to meet Rushy. He drops me into the city for the suit fitting. Suit fitting went great. I tell you, it went so fucking great. And I got a little bit of a confidence boost because I remember Ong was the tailor's name, right? And I said to him a while ago, I said, mate, if you tailor these pants up and I lose a bit of weight, can you retailer? Is that a service that you offer? And he's like, yeah, we can do that. I'm a tailor. You clearly have no idea about tailoring. I was like, no, I do not. So I go in on Saturday, put the whole kit and caboodle on. Pants are a little bit loose, my friend. Oh, do you think you could take him in a bit? Yeah, and he's going, oh, you think? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, I'll take him in a centimetre. So yeah, fucking oath. I set out with the goal to lose a bit of gut fat, and I have. Just a little bit, but it counts. Maybe I lost a lot during COVID last week because I didn't eat a lot, frankly. I was anxious as hell. I was just stomaching like 1 to 2 meals a day. Doesn't matter. I will take it. That's the good side of a sickness. Let's be honest. If you're looking for a little way to shed a few pounds, just get an illness. You know what I mean? Get an illness. You'll drop some weight. You know what I mean? Just get anxious. Just get a bit of anxiety. I tell you, you'll be fucking just fucking binging and purging that food up. Don't worry about it. So anyway, I'm not here promoting any of that stuff, but I was just stoked. So he's taking the pants in. They're beltless ones, so they've got to be super schmick, super on the just right. So man, super stoked about that. Rush came back, picked me up. He's like, let's go to Milton Common. If you're ever in Brisbane, I've never seen it. I used to be from Brisbane, right? Everybody knows that. But every time I go back, I'm like, wow, there's like so many bars and restaurants and new things that are appearing. And I almost want to go into Brisbane for a weekend and just like have some time in there and just explore the city that I used to live in because there's so much going on. Rushy took me to a place just off Park Road called Milton Common. Milton. I don't know, I was talking like that. Milton Common, right? Milton. Everyone knows. If you're in Brisbane, you know Milton. So just across from like the big 4X fucking brewery and the railway station. But dude, sick place. Microbrewery. The guy's name that runs it is Jimmy, right? How could I forget Jimmy? What a larrikin, what a bloke you could trust. Gave me a little tour. I said, take me around, mate. I said, one of my goals one day is to open a bar. I said, give me a look at this. Unreal. I said, man, this must have set you back a fair bit. And he goes, fucking oath it did. Hey, I said, hey, let me run it now. He's like, 3 years. Like, you making any money? He's like, fuck no. So, he was painting a pretty bleak picture about making money owning a bar, but a boy can dream, right? So that is on my goal list. It's on my list, and I'm keeping it. But yeah, it was sick. I had a taste of a dark lager, and then I had an Irish red ale. I wolfed the Irish red ale, seriously good. And his fucking chicken burger, the Southern Fried Chicken Burger, My compliments to the chef. It was unfucking real. So that was really good. Hung out with Rushy a bit, as I said. He paid for my lunch. What a G. He gave me a crawling death shirt and a crawling death hat. What a fucking double G, triple G. And I was just like, man, got to see you again, eh? He's all hugs and kisses, which is great. Great dude. I'm going to drink for him. He didn't even drink, and I'm drinking for him. He's a Pepsi man. I love him for it. Then I'm down in Brisbane. I, of course, have to go and see my nanny and pop. It's just one of those things that I do. So, got to cherish the time. You know what I mean? Cherish the time. And I go and see them. Pop was a little bit dazed, a little bit tired, actually. I think they had a big night at the Pokies the night before. They had some wins, which was great. But just went in for an hour and a half, just sort of tried to make their day. And in return, I think they sort of make my day a bit. I love seeing the oldies. There's something that you get. It's a wholesome trip. They tell you stories that you might have heard before, and they tell you stories that, frankly, are really fucking long-winded some of the time. But I don't know, it means a lot to me, it means a lot to them, and it's just something that I cherish, and I know that I'll miss it. When it's not there, I'll know that I'll miss it. So, yeah, I just had to make the effort. As it was, got home after dark, right on the dot of 6 p.m. Kids going crazy, going mental. There was a little roast chook in the oven. They'd done a sneaky. They'd done a real sneaky on me. Hey, I thought we were having a butterfly chicken. They'd bought a Coles chicken roast, like it was already roasted. So they did the veggies, and then they basically just put the fucking chicken in like 10 minutes before the end just to heat it up. It was a nice ploy. I thought, geez, this fucking flavour is familiar. Damn right it's familiar. It was fucking from Coles. I've had it millions of times. Good dinner. I was super grateful nonetheless. And I was looking forward to watching the Broncos slay the Western Tigers, and oh my God, quite the opposite, eh? Broncos, they got beat, they got fucked up, and I was angry. I was very, very angry about it. Actually so angry that Bet goes to me up at about the 60-minute mark. She's like, why do you get so aggressive? And I just was, she caught me off guard. I got to watch my tone, but she caught me off guard, eh? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you're just super aggressive watching this game. I'm like, because I fucking care about the result. And I'm pissed off, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, why would I tune into a game, Beck, that I don't care about who's going to win? That's not cricket, you know what I mean? Like, that's not sport. I give a shit about who wins, right? I'm cheering for the Rabbitohs the night before. I don't give a shit about the Rabbitohs and Sharks, but I tipped the Rabbitohs, so I've got an invested interest there, you know what I mean? And the Broncos, there's a love there, and there's definitely an invested interest there. So I'm like, fucking hell. So I was just spewing. Talk to Stu about it next day. He gets it. But yeah, it wasn't. Come across like this raving lunatic sometimes when you watch football. You know what I mean? And people that don't get it, I mean, I get it. From the outside looking in, they don't get it. It's like people that watch like Beck watches the Kardashians and like froths on it. You know what I mean? I'm just, I don't get it. You know what I mean? In fairness, she doesn't ever yell or hurl abuse at the screen while she's watching Kimmy and the girls. But I'm just that one little step more passionate than her when I'm watching the football. So that's sport, you know what I mean? Super passionate person. That's what I said, Beck, don't take it too seriously. With me, I said I'm just super passionate about this game right now, and I want them to win. That's why I'm watching it. If I didn't give a fuck who won, I probably wouldn't be watching the game. We'd be watching some other crap. Anyway, so that was pretty much Saturday evening. I let my mum watch a couple episodes of that show again. I think I put on a movie, Beer Fest, which is my movie of the week. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, Saturday. Sunday, Becky had a day with Amelia. They were doing some wedding planning and some hens party planning. So I knew that was going to be an all-day thing for her. Arabella had a little third birthday at Moffat Beach. One of the kids, Benny, from her school, Benson, little tyke that he is. So I was like, I got to go. We've been geeing her up about it. There was something else that happened on Saturday night. We'll talk about it. There was a segment I want to talk about. What probably resonates with the parents right now. I'm going to have a drink because I'm feeling good. I get some people that tell me that they like it when I drink on the show, even though sometimes I'll come on here and say, like, I feel like I could be a bit of an alcoholic. People go, man, I love when you have a beer on the show, though. And it's like, oh, I don't want to let them down. You know what I mean? Fucking whatever. So we go to Benny's party on the Sunday morning, and I kind of wanted to go because you see these like daycare parents, right? And it's sort of your ships in the night. You know, you come in, have some like, you know your kids playing together and stuff like that. Kids come home, talk, mention all these names, and you're like, fucking hell. All right. So we went down there, and it was super cool. The kids run around just going ape shit, and there's party bags, there's cake, just a real wholesome little party. So shout out to Benny's parents for sorting that out. Met a few of the dads, met Steve. real stand-up dad guy wearing a half zip and a hat that said S. I'm assuming for Steve. Thought that was a cool touch. Met Arabella's little mate, Kira's mum. So we swapped numbers. We exchanged numbers. She lives close to us. And I thought we'll do some play dates and stuff like that. These are the kind of things you have to do as parents now. You're not even socializing for yourself anymore. You're setting up social events for your kids and stuff like that. So it's just one of those things. But yeah, it was cool, right? It was cool. Weather was a bit fucking pish. Had a little decaf coffee from Sugar Mamas. Not too shabby, guys. I like what you do. And yeah, that was sort of Sunday morning. We then went to Hello Harry's, got some burgers. I got a nice grass-fed beef burger. My mum got this fucking whopping big burger, eh? And I knew it was going to be a big one. I can tell by looking at the price. I got an $11 burger. She's got a $16 burger. She comes out, she was all stunned about the size of it. I'm like, Mum, $16 versus 11. Like, look at all the stuff that's on it. There's like 8 different fucking ingredients. You know it's going to be big. It's called the Aussie, right? It's like basically like the fish and chip burger with the lot. So she was having it. She was loving it. Got some chibbies. Had a little beer. Got Arabella a little kids combo. And it's super cute. I don't know. I love that sort of stuff. I remember going to Macca's as a kid and just getting Happy Meals on a Thursday night with my grandparents. Like, you were super stoked, hey? Back then, it was like Macca's was the rage, Happy Meals and stuff. I remember graduating from a Happy Meal to a Big Mac meal. Like, probably started with small and then, quickly went through to medium large. By like high school, like by like the age of 15 to 17, I remember just like I was trouncing like large triple cheeseburger meals, you know what I mean? No wonder I had acne and stuff like that. But it was like the shit that you lived for back then. So I was really stoked to get her this little kids combo. And the burger was super cute. It was like my burger, but half the size. And she's there just having a good time, dancing and stuff, eating the burger. And it was just a great little wholesome lunch. I put on a bit of dinner that night, a bit of fish tacos. I am partial to fish tacos. If you've been listening to the show for a long time, I gave the recipe away quite some time ago. But yeah, had a good sesh on the fish tacos last night. I tell you what though, I go a bit overboard with the jalapenos now. I never used to be a spice guy, but man, I love the spice, and it do not love me the next day. Yeah, it literally just takes my bum and just destroys it. It's disgusting. I don't know what it is. Woke up at like 6 o'clock this morning, maybe 6:30. Started to feel those like lower gut pains. You don't want to hear it, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. And that was me on the toilet. And to be honest, I don't like starting the day on the toilet. I like to shower, I like to have a coffee, and then I like to visit the loo. Wiping the sleep out of your eyes while just like having jalapenos destroy your rectum, no good. Anyway, thought I'd share that with you. We're friends, we're family, so you can hear that. And anyway, my fish tacos were lovely. I would still add jalapenos onto it because it adds a flavor. There's a certain something. I even had some today. Could wake up fucking dawn tomorrow with the squirts. Who knows? We'll see. Got deep. Where am I? Beers with Stu. Stewie. I love Stewie. Shout out Disco Stew. And I'll razz the cunt up because he's a triplet father. So I know he's literally well and truly got his hands full. But trying to make a plan with Stewie, and I will say this publicly, it can be a little bit complex. We talked about it through the week. He then sends me this text message, and we joked about it yesterday. We laughed about it, so he won't care if I share this. But he basically like will tell me like a full-on scenario of like, this is my whole day, and this is everything I've got to do in my day. I've then got an hour and a half window. Do you want to catch up for a beer? At this point, I was like, I'm in Brisbane, bro. Like, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. And I'm like, I don't know what he wants me to do here, eh? Like, can he just give me like a bit more of an open window? You know what I mean? Like, I can make time for him. It's super hard. And I was like, not really holding my breath for Sunday. Anyway, he's just come in the perfect timing. Just been like, hey man, you want to get a couple of schooners? I've got some free time. And I was like, yes, I do. Everyone's out. Arabella's asleep. My mum's here with her. And like, she's asleep. You know, it's like hardly babysitting for a grandmother. That's just, you're minding it. My mum's watching location on the fucking binge. Sweet, let's go. We went up to the local TAV, the Baringa TAV. Oh, so nice. Bolter XPA was on special. $7 schooners, $9 pints. Pumped 2 schooners, right? We're in there, and it was just so good. As soon as it hit our lips, we were just having the best time. And like, our moods were good, so good. We were bonding over fucking our relationships, our kids, football, everything, just being absolute polite rapists. You know what I mean? We were talking about that, where the quiet the quiet overachievers in the bedroom. You know what I mean? We're dying, right? Parent of 2, parent of 3, the very, very small windows, very, very small shots at the goal, so to speak. So we were bonding over that, or the lack thereof. Yeah, I'll let you read between the lines, frankly. We were bonding over a lot. Pure bondage between me and Stu yesterday. We had one round. I bought another round. He is fucking feeling it, right? And he goes, do you reckon we got time for another? I was like, do you reckon? I was like, does the fucking Pope shit in the woods? Hell yeah, we got another time for another. So had 3 schooners each, and we were fucking feeling it. And we were just like, man, I don't want to go home. You know when you get into those moments where it's just so good. And I love a good wholesome chat, and I just needed it. I think he needed it. I know he needed it. Oh, God, it was so good. So shout out, Stu. I'm going to have another drink for you. Hey, this beer is just getting downed tonight based off the back of shout outs. Animal. And then, yeah, fish tacos, finished Beer Fest. Mum finished 9 Perfect Strangers. I finished a few rosés. Just loved up family time. Pretty good Sunday. Now here we are, Monday, podcast day. You know how it goes. So I'm back. Whew. It's debrief, guys. Debrief. Got a question here from my main man, Stu, actually. He asked me this today. This was a random one. I don't know why. He must have been carving pumpkins. Put a question for tonight. What is your least favorite item to chop up? Mine is the pumpkin. Every time I chop one, I feel like I'm going to die with a knife slip. A pretty good call there on the pumpkin. I don't know if mine's an equal thing to cut up. I'm not a mad fan of cutting up onions. I enjoy the texture of it, but every now and then when you get one of those ones that like just absolutely rapes your eyes and you're just crying, and then you go, oh my God, oh, fucking touch my eyes with the onion hands. Don't like that. He has probably got a point here with the pumpkin though. I feel like because they've got the skin, and I don't really cut the skin off now because I'm lazy. It's the seeds that get me, especially on them Kent. I believe it's Kent pumpkins. Them seeds, they're gross. They're a bit like guts or something. I don't know. And you got to scoop them out with a thing. Yeah, actually, they're a piece of shit. Actually, pumpkins. I really like pumpkin. Eating it, the preparation of pumpkin is dog shit though. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with pumpkin, brother. Everything else pretty good. Not too hard. Although I do eat chicken liver, and I will say slicing chicken liver up makes my fucking skin crawl. So I just prefer to cook it in a pan and chop it with scissors when it's in a pan. Equally as sadistic, but makes me feel better about myself. So yeah, we'll do that. Paul Savino, rest in peace, from Goodfellas. Anyone that knows Goodfellas knows Paulie from Goodfellas. So he is like the 3rd person from Goodfellas to die this year. Don't know how he died, but he was like quite old, I believe, 80 something. Just having a look here for his age. Quite old. But there's this classic scene in Goodfellas. It's one of the best scenes in Goodfellas where they're all in prison. Paulie's in prison. Henry Hill, Ray Liotta's character's in prison. And they're all in this special unit that they got. You know, they're Italian, they're mobsters, they can do whatever they want. And there's an awesome scene of him with a piece of garlic, right? Raw garlic, and he's slicing it with a razor blade. And then the Ray Liotta, like, he's narrating it, and he's just like, we had this beautiful routine in there. And then he said Paul used to do the garlic, he'd liquefy with a razor, and he'd do it so thin that it would liquefy in the pan. And it's this awesome scene, you know what I mean? They're talking about having eaten too much onion and stuff like that. But yeah, shout out Paul Savino. Goodfellas is my favorite movie. He's a huge character in that. So, gotta give him a shout out. Here's to Paul Savino. Paulie. Woo! What else we got on tonight's show? Rolling through. My back. I had an MRI. That was an experience. I had an MRI last week on Friday actually. I wasn't nervous about it. It was one of those ones that they put you in the tube, you know what I mean? And I'm not claustrophobic to like the point of like it'll ruin my life, but like the girl goes to me, are you claustrophobic? And I just said I would choose not to shove myself in a small tiny hole. If certain situations maybe I'd enjoy that, but I would choose not to do that, you know what I mean, generally speaking. Get in there and they're like, okay, cool, do you want an eye mask? And I'm like, is my head hanging out the back of this tube, or I'm going to see the roof of this tube? And she's like, yeah, you probably see the roof of the tube. So I was like, give me the eye mask. Then they're like, do you want any music? I'm like, yeah, I do actually want some music. I said, can you put on the Violent Soho, this is Violent Soho playlist on Spotify, please? Because I'm absolutely smashing Violent Soho at the moment, feeling so good about it. And we get in there, two lovely girls. It was nice, but it's a really, actually, I'll be honest, it was kind of calming. So anyone that's had an MRI, it's probably one of the loudest things you'll experience, right? Like just for like in the medicine world, I guess. They give you like the earbuds to shove in because of the deafening noise. They've then put the headphones on. I've then got the eye mask on. I will say the headphones probably no good at all. The worst ones I've ever had. The left ear didn't work, and this right ear, scratchy as fucking too low. Once you're in that MRI thing, it just goes like the clappers. And she goes, it sounds a little bit like a jackhammer, right? She's not wrong. And you're in there, it's like, and you're just like, but really super fucking loud. Oh my God. And yeah, that was it. That was like me for 15 minutes in there. At halfway, she goes, are you going all right? I said, yeah. I was like, can you turn the music up though? I can hardly hear it. So I get them turned up. But I was kind of in like this meditative state. I was just like really trying to do my breath and stuff like that. And some of that jackhammering noise was just so repetitive that it just was like, it made me just sort of like nod off. And I reckon I nodded off about 3 times in 15 minutes. So all in all, MRI wasn't too bad. But I mentioned, obviously, my back's been giving me some grief, and it really has. I don't have it on me, but on the weekend, I went and got this stuff. I will get back to that. We'll get back to that. My back, got a diagnosis quickly off the MRI. So I got a bit of an issue. We won't talk about all this. Left subarticular disc prolapse at C6 and C7 with marked effacement of the exiting C7 nerve root. So I've literally had this nerve pain up my neck, down my back, sort of just in here, and then now it's going to my shoulder, my tricep, all down here. I've had tingly feelings in my hands and shit like that. Annular tear at the C5 and C6. Don't know what that means, but yeah, it definitely feels like something's torn back there and something is raping a nerve ending. And it says I got a selective nerve root block can be arranged. So basically they can put a big injection in there and kill all the pain. I've inquired about that. Probably will do that, but got to do a bit more research. Next port of call is get into a physio. I'm one of those guys. I'm trying to be. I think I am solution focused some of the time. I'm trying to be more solution focused. Now that I know exactly what it is, I find some comfort in the pain because I go, cool, know what it is. I had the MRI. Now we can go for the clappers and get it fixed, right? That's what I mean by solution focus. So I've already found a physio. Got to get the referral. Don't you love the GPs? They love a referral. Hey, everything's referral this, referral that. Oh, you can't get a referral over the phone. You've got to come in. Don't know why. They can give you fucking a diagnosis over the phone, but they can't give you a referral over the phone. Don't see the big deal here. They probably just want to cop more money off of me, eh? Dogs. But yeah, so I will say the pain's been pretty severe this last month. It probably some of the worst pain I've ever had, and it's definitely affected my mood, right? But I will say, shout out this stuff. Symbiotica is the brand, right? Really super legit supplements. I was listening to a Paul Chek podcast, and I've mentioned Paul Chek a few times. I really like Paul Chek, and I basically believe everything he says, right? I'm one of those supportive kind of guys. And one of the only brands he promotes is Symbiotica, right? And he's had the owner on there a few times, and they're really tight. So I think this must be legit. And he did a little ad for this stuff called Ultimate Pain Balm, right? The name got me. Went online, read heaps of reviews on it. I thought, this is cool, right? There was a local place that literally stocks Symbiotica. So I'm like, fuck yeah. That's where I went on Saturday morning. Got the Ultimate Pain Balm, and I'm dying to use it, right? I basically took my shirt off outside the car for into Brisbane, and I'm lathering my back up, right? Lathering it all over. I will say, it well and truly took the edge off. Probably for anything that have taken so far over the last month, it probably has been the best, right? I got acupuncture last week as well. I will say shout out acupuncturist because that took some edge off. She was a cool chick. She was funny, you know, and didn't want to go too hard on me. She comes in, she's doing all these sort of hand movements, you know, anyone that's watching on the YouTube. And she's like, are you a bit of an anxious person? And I'm thinking, yeah. She's like, oh, I thought so. I thought that might have been me. I'm a very intuitive person. I thought that may have been me, but now I know it's you, sort of thing. And she's doing all these fucking witch doctor sort of things around me. I don't know. I didn't mind it. I really like acupuncture. I think the Chinese medicine's great. Love it. Support the Chinese medicine. So we did that. But yeah, this Ultimate Pain Balm, I really highly recommend it. Anyone that's got any sort of pain, apparently it's really good on headaches. I don't know where you rub it. It's got a bit of a deep heat sort of sensation. The way it goes super cold and then it goes super warm for a bit. I put it on 2 or 3 times today. I think you're meant to put on once. It says apply liberally, but I've just been putting it on like at a few points of the day. It's only a little fucking thimble, right? It's a really small thing. It cost me $55, down from 70. It was 20% off, so we lucked out. So it must have been, I'm a tight ass, and it must have been a thing that I needed to get at that price. So yeah, Symbiotica is the brand. Ultimate Pain Balm is the stuff. Just put some on Beck's back. I'm really keen to get a review in the morning. But I like it because it's all natural. It's got a shitload of herbs in it, fruit, stem cells, all this sort of stuff. No nasties, basically. I don't know about you, but Panadol and Panadeine Forte and fucking Voltaren, it all has a purpose. I understand that. But for me, I feel like, one thing is when you take Voltaren, everyone's like, oh, make sure you take a fucking probiotic because it's going to rip your guts apart and your organs apart. I'm like, well, that can't be too good. And then Panadol and stuff like that. I don't know. I took Panadol the other week and like I was having it every day with my back and the COVID and stuff. And my face just ripped apart. It was literally flaking. It was disgusting. It was just Dandruff City. I was the mayor of Dandruff City, and like, I'm getting dandruff just from my hair, but it was like from my eyebrows. My nose is just fucking flaking up. I've lost like 73 layers of skin on my nose in the last week. Disgusting. Lips are cracked. Oh, my mustache was just like, instead of hair, it was just cracked skin. It was disgusting. So I'm glad that there's companies out there like this that are really trying to like sort out people's pain and help them with supplements and things like that and do it in the nicest possible way. Had a good chat with the lady there. She told me all about the nutritionist that picked it. Super cool. Super cool. So the back, we're going to get it on the mend, right? If I do the nerve blocker, I can't get it done until at least the 16th of August. Need like 3 days to rest it, apparently. I had a cortisone shot in my right shoulder once for bursitis, same sort of thing. I probably will get it. I've got a wedding in September, so I want to be tip-top and no pain. But I am keen as fuck to get to the physio. As I said, solution-focused guy. I'm a solution-focused guy. Just want to get it done, right? So yeah, that'll be cool. We'll get that done. A few things here to talk about. Just some stuff that's popped up in my mind. Wives' tales. I want to talk about wives' tales real quick. I was talking to my mate, Rushy, and I told him I wouldn't say him by name on this show in this particular segment, but I'm going to do it. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but he was talking to someone, maybe in a Philippine descent, and they mentioned about being congested, and apparently in the Asian culture, any Asian fans listening to the show would really like to know if this is true or not, but they like to put Vicks Vapor Rub on their feet. I don't know how the feet connect to the chest. This probably ties into the Eastern medicine, acupuncture. I know they put a pin in your head, it talks to your fucking hand, that sort of shit. Maybe that's the thing. The Chinese, they put the Vicks on the feet, talks to the chest. I don't know. You have to do a bit more research on that. Got me thinking about wives' tales though. Hey, all these things that like people do that some of them really hang on it. You know what I mean? I remember years ago when my dad would have warts. This is a kid. He apparently, like his grandmother would put like an onion or a garlic. I believe it was an onion, a brown onion in a brown paper bag, and they'd bury it in the backyard. And then I think they'd like, I don't know if the wart would just go away or they would then open it up and rub the onion on the wart. I don't know. Apparently got rid of the warts, but I find it hard to believe. But there must be something in the soil. I don't know. But got me thinking. Wives' tales. Certain things like people putting new shoes on the table, that's bad luck. It's bad luck on my dad's side of the family. I will say the Irish, super superstitious. They love these wives' tales. But I'm going to go through here. I just pulled up a quick little list. We'll run through it very quickly. Maybe not. But we're going to run through it. 14 popular old wives' tales that are totally fake. Now, I don't know how debunked these are, but Liz Schumer, she might be pretty reputable. I'm not sure. This is goodhousekeeping.com. So pretty classy publication. Number 1, swimming after eating will give you debilitating cramps. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably call bullshit on this. Like, I've had meals before and jumped into a pool and never had cramps. But that was always the thing growing up. Hey, you gotta wait. Number 2, chewing gum stays in your stomach for 7 years. This is one I fully believed growing up. Hey, like you swallow a piece of gum and it's stuck inside your body for 7 years. It's crazy too because any other thing that would fall into your system, you generally shit it out in the next shit, maybe the second or third shit. Chewing gum, it's just like super strong, staying in your colon, never wants to get out. It's disgusting. They go on to say you shouldn't swallow it, but accidentally doing it, it's not going to hurt you. I have swallowed gum before. I haven't looked and shit to find it, but I'm sure it came out. Number 3, human urine heals jellyfish stings. I've heard this. I've even seen people do this. I've even remembered the guys in Jackass, Steve-O and Chris Pontius did this, where he put it on his head and then he poured piss on his head after a thing. Apparently, it doesn't work. I suppose it's like a placebo effect. I've got a thing about placebo effects too, with like eating certain foods, taking certain supplements. People go, oh, it's just a placebo effect. Whilst, yes, it may be. If it makes the person feel better, then hasn't the job been done? Do you know what I mean? So fucking rock on, right? Bring on the placebo. Number 4, coffee stunts your growth. Never actually heard that. I heard smoking stunts your growth, but I never heard that. Yeah. Apparently there was a link between coffee and osteoporosis, but that was debunked. So any coffee nuts out there? I know a lot of people drink coffee and I don't really see them shrinking. You know what I mean? My dad drinks 10 cups a day. He's stayed the same height my whole life. Whatever. 5, plucking grey hairs will make 2 more grow in. I feel like this is some shit that like ladies made up to like scare themselves into going and getting like other proper waxing done, all that threading shit, which looks absolutely horrendous. Yeah, each hair follicle only contains 1 hair, so plucking 1 out means not more will grow, just 1 will grow back. I think it's a thing too. You know what I mean? I'm saying that I get really big eyebrow hairs. I'm not worried about grey hair. I can't wait to go grey. Actually, silver fox. I've got it written all over me. Number 6, sitting too close to the TV ruins your eyes. Yeah, bullshit. But I will say it will fuck your neck looking at an iPhone, and I am absolute credit to that. Number 7, cats suck baby's breath. I have no idea what I even just read there. Your cat will not suck your baby's breath from their body. Okay, this must be a witch thing. Okay, this happened 300-year-old. This is literally how stupid the world is. From a 300-year-old case, they thought that the cat sucked the baby's breath and killed the baby. Likely it was just sudden infant death syndrome, which is pretty sad. But yeah, I don't know why. Wow. That must have been honestly back when they were still burning people at the stake because they were witches. That's an absolute retarded diagnosis. Number 8, shaving makes hair grow back thicker. I've heard this too, and I've been shaving my face for years, and it never really gets thicker. Just a tin's bit thicker, but I don't think it has anything to do with the shaving of it. Interesting. Number 9, hair of the dog cures a hangover. I will say I've got to call bullshit on this one. I've done a lot of research on getting drunk again after hangovers. They say the hair of the dog, right? The idea of that the hair of the dog cures a hangover first appeared in print in 1546. Jesus Christ. But it's never been true. The only cure for a hangover is waiting it out. Well, no shit. Like, we all know that sort of to a degree, right? And we know that just getting back on the horse is probably like, you're probably verging on alcoholic. But let's be frank. If you've had a bit of a skinful the night before, say a Saturday night, come into a little Sunday afternoon, Sunday sesh, footy's on, everyone's good, crack a few beers, takes the edge off. I mean, kind of a cure, right? Kind of a cure. Might be a little bit of a Band-Aid solution, but it makes you feel better. Again, placebo effect, whatever, I'll take it. I'll call half-truth on that. Number 10, cracking knuckles can cause arthritis. I was always told this. Me cracking my knuckles. I was always told that growing up. You're going to get arthritis. We'll say my hands do feel a little bit nimble now, but apparently it's bullshit. It's just nitrogen bubbles in the fluid that lubricates the joints. You're just cracking it and it's escaping. Don't know. This is a good one. I got to tell Beck this one because she was literally just calling this at the table. Eating carrots will give you better eyesight. Beck literally told Arabella at the table tonight. She's like, if you eat your carrots, you'll be able to see in the dark. Poor kid's gone to bed in the dark with me before, and she was like, I can't see. I need to eat more carrots. I mean, the ploy worked. I don't know. I could think of something better than a fucking carrot, let's be honest. Carrots are alright, but they're kind of disgusting. They do contain beta-carotene, a vitamin that helps maintain normal vision. Eating more of them won't help fix poor eyesight. I don't know. And apparently, Beck thinks it makes you see in the dark. That's crazy. She was obviously raised on that shit too. 12. Being cold will give you one. Of course, that's not true. Do you know what I mean? I'm cold right now, and I'm not going to get a cold, touch wood. I don't know. That's terrible reasoning. Being cold can have an adverse effect on your immune system. Don't know. Whatever. That seems crazy. But I will say you probably will have a better chance of getting a cold in the cold. So it's not totally bullshit, right? The 5-second rule. If you've ever exclaimed 5-second rule while picking up a drop piece of candy and popping it in your mouth, we have bad news. Bacteria transfers to food starting immediately. Oh my God, we've all been there. We've all dropped shit on the ground. But I think, look, it's not that bad because it creates a bit of immunity, stuff like that. So anyway, doesn't matter. And number 14, we eat 8 spiders a year in our sleep. I've never heard that, and it sounds fucking disgusting. Says there's no hard data to support it, but that spiders wouldn't be inclined to crawl into a predator's mouth. We also move around enough in our sleep to scare them off, so don't worry about accidentally swallowing the creepy crawlies. Like, that's crazy. I wouldn't think there's that many spiders getting around in my house for me to eat 8 a year. And like, surely, I mean, I sleep pretty heavy, but surely you'd feel that. I have had issues with like mosquitoes flying into my ears. That's always horrendous. Uh, Queensland, it's a curse. You know what I mean? If you need fly screens. But yeah, not really worried about the spiders in my mouth. Touch wood, don't want to wake up with a spider in my mouth. Anyway, that was my segment on Wives' Tales. We'll do movie of the week. We'll do punchable offenses, and I switched on the TV. I thought this was a really cool bit of trivia. Switched on the TV Saturday night, and there was a movie show on Viceland, and it had the guys from Super Troopers on it. This is why it made me want to watch Beer Fest, because I watched Super Troopers not that long ago, and I thought I love Beer Fest too. I'll check that out. Couple things. The reason that they got the idea for that movie is because the director Jay Chandrakishore, however you say his last name, actually saw different cops fighting on a highway. He thought this is pretty funny that they actually give a shit about their territories. There's a tribute there to Blade Runner in the enhanced scene, but what I thought was the coolest bit of trivia is the maple syrup scene. So I never knew this, but they're actually chugging maple syrup in that scene. They first were using iced tea, but it didn't have the texture and the look right, so they thought it was going to look a bit fake. So they sent the production assistants out down to the local fucking Costco or whatever, and got this sort of, maple syrup, whatever it was. Literally, Jay, the dark guy, the director, he ended up drinking 2 bottles straight, and then Rabbit, his character, he ended up drinking 4 bottles straight. He reckons after the shoot, they'd have to go and lie down. They were just shaking into like a diabetic sort of shock. That is art, people. That is fucking going hard for your art. I like that. That's awesome. Anyway, that takes me to the movie of the week, the song of the week. Beer Fest. Love it. Basically, it's about... there's Oktoberfest, but behind Oktoberfest is a thing called Beer Fest, which is a real beer drinking fucking competition, right? These American guys go over, they get humiliated, and it's this whole family thing. It's a stupid as fuck movie, but it's funny. It made me feel good. It made me want to drink beer while I was watching it. A lot of beer, actually. So there it is, Beer Fest. That's my movie of the week. It's on Binge if you're in Australia. Song of the week. I got a couple here. Violent So, Pick It Up again. Absolutely love it. Bad Dreams, My Only Friend, love that. And another one by a Brisbane band called Betty Rays. The song's called Milk, but they just released an album today. I listened to the whole album, so good. I'm super into Australian music at the moment. We're so lucky in Australia. We got the best fucking rock and roll scene going. I swear to God, it's so good. So go and check that out. Another little thing I will say here, I was watching this new show called The 12, right? And it's a courtroom drama. We'll probably do a breakdown of it soon. One thing that got me laughing though is like, why in this day and age do they still have an artist in a courtroom drawing people? Why did they ever have it? I could see why they might have had it in like the fucking 1800s when there was no such thing as cameras or whatever. But yeah, that's something I'm going to do a bit of research on. I'm not going to do it now. Anyway, I thought that was crazy that there's still people like drawing people in courtrooms. Like, what is the significance in that? Are they selling it as artwork, or is it they're going to revert back to it, like look at it after the case, just be like, oh yes, that's what the defendant looked like, thanks to this drawing. Bizarre. Take a photo. Anyway, I appreciate the artwork though. It's not a dig on artists. I just thought it's bizarre they still do it. Whew, Tomo. Now, we'll end on some punchable offences. I got 2. One is not as bad as the other, but I just thought this morning, I just saw it. What is with those people that like constantly call you? And they'll call you once, then they'll just call you immediately after, and then sometimes they'll even go a third one. And then they'll send you the text like, hey, I've just tried to call you. It's like, no, we know, mate. We know you've tried to call me. The phone just hasn't stopped pinging for 20 minutes. Like, you can't answer, right? So stop calling me. I have a thing where I try not to answer the phone when I'm with the kids, right? So I can still see it sometimes. Unless it like is important, I do it. Because the time with them is more important than answering a fucking phone call from a stranger. So... look, light punchable offense, maybe a slap, right? But this is the one that got me, right? Up and down the Bruce Highway on Saturday. I've probably spoken this before. We all know this. We're all in agreement here. People driving slow in the right lane. Let me rephrase that. People driving slow in the right lane. That is a dead set punchable offense. Hey, literally fucking jab, hook, bang, uppercut punchable offense. That shit shits me. Don't get in the right lane and you want to do more than the speed limit. I'm sorry, I'm not promoting speeding here, but like the right lane is for overtaking, right? And sometimes you got to go a little bit harder in the right lane. Don't give a fuck. There's no excuse to sit in the right lane. I think people should get fined. Maybe loss of license. Definitely a punch in the head, right? But man, right lane drivers, what are you doing? I will say, I'm not going to start a debate here with sexes or racism or anything like that, but there's particular similarities I've seen in the people that sit in the right lane. Let's just leave it at that. Anyway, punishable offense. Thank you. That's the show. Episode 140 fucking 4. Can't bloody believe it. Next week, I'll have a fucking Bucks party to break down. Off to Sydney on Saturday morning. Very stoked. My good mate, my best mate, Jordan, is getting married. What an idiot. No, I'm excited for him. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to rest this motherfucking back, hit the physio, we'll come back. I've got nothing to say. I'm just super stoked, super grateful to be here, super happy that you listened to me, watch me, whatever. If anything resonated with you in this show, you think it's funny, got some information, you're like, oh, I might try some Ultimate Pain Balm, pay it forward. Seriously would love that. Anyway, I'm the king of the couch. You have a fucking great week, and I love you all.